Hey everyone, it's Kevin here, and this is the Boosted Board Plus. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's like living with it, the things I love about the Boosted Board Plus, as well as the things that really frustrate me, and then I'm going to talk about whether or not I think it's worth it to buy. If you're watching this video, you probably already know what a boosted board is. Put simply, it's a longboard with a battery and two motors strapped to it. You can find more details about what a boosted board is on their website, but in this video I want to go beyond the specs and focus really on what it's like to live with the boosted board. To give some context, I live in San Francisco and I've been using the Boosted Board Plus for about 2.5 months now as my daily commuting vehicle, and I've put around 200 miles on the board so far. While I don't have any skateboarding experience, I do have a fair bit of snowboarding experience, so take that for what it might mean. I ended up learning the very basics on a tennis court, and I practiced at higher speeds on smooth streets with very little traffic. As someone who has rarely ridden in the city before, even on a bike, it was definitely daunting and scary to ride from point A to point B on the boosted board for the first time, but after 4 or 5 times you get really used to it, and you kind of learn how to maneuver the board and how to maneuver around traffic safely. So after getting used to it, this has now become my preferred way of getting around the city, and especially going to work. I can go on my own schedule, I don't have to wait for a bus or call an Uber, and I can bypass a ton of traffic getting downtown, which is great. Additionally, as someone who enjoys, fresh air and the outdoors, this is a really nice way to wake up in the morning, as well as a good way to decompress after work. San Francisco has a pretty terrible public transportation system. You can really only get around by bus or Uber. There is no subway system really. So having the boosted board has added so much convenience to my lifestyle. I can make last-minute trips to the grocery store much more often, and things are just more within reach when they weren't before without the boosted board. I would say in terms of just general lifestyle, one of the main drawbacks of having the boosted board is when you take it with you to go somewhere, you need to think about what to do with the boosted board at every step of the way. So if you're going to a restaurant to see a friend, and you take the boosted board there, you need to figure out, do I want to put the boosted board under the table? Is someone going to steal it if I just leave it at the front of the entrance? Same thing with the grocery store. You also need to think about what you want to do with the helmet, because you always have to wear a helmet, no matter what. Got it? Good. Oh, and I didn't talk about what it's like to ride. It is amazing, even on the terrible streets of San Francisco or any city. The boosted board can get through it, and it makes you really appreciate any kind of smooth pavement when you're riding on it. It carves really nicely, and it's such a joy to ride once you get used to it. And as someone who rides this electric skateboard around everywhere, it's important to obey the laws and obey traffic and just don't do anything stupid, because you are an advocate for this new technology, and if people don't like what you're doing, they're not going to like the technology in addition. So that's also just something to keep in mind. You can't talk about a boosted board without talking about how much it costs. And the Boosted Board Plus comes in at an insane $1,400 before tax. So let's just say it's like $1,500. But if you think about it a little bit more, it might actually pay itself off in, a couple of years. Okay, so bear with me on this calculation here. Let's just say I ride the boosted board, I make 10 trips a week, and I'll say that I save about $3 per trip, just averaging out the cost of either, public transportation or Uber or something like that. So let's say $3 per trip, 10 trips a week. So that's $30 saved per week. And if we assume the boosted board costs $1,500, then it only takes 50 weeks for us to make up that money. And let's just throw in maintenance in there. So conservatively, over 2 years, which is about 100 weeks, you should probably make up the cost of the Boosted Board Plus. So I think that might be worth it, actually. Okay, let's talk about long-term use, maintenance, and obviously the frustrations that I've had with it regarding maintenance and long-term use. So about 100 miles into riding my boosted board, one of the motors started clicking. Oh, hello. One of the motors started clicking. I didn't really know what was wrong with it, so I looked it up on Reddit to see if other people were having this issue. And I found that many people were, and it looked like it was a bent motor shaft. So, here you go. So I contacted support, sent them a video. They were really fast about responding and sent me a new motor within a couple days. So I fixed it up, which is another process in itself to take everything apart and put it back together. And it was working great again. But, tens of miles in, the other motor started to have problems. So I did the same thing, sent them a video, they sent me a new motor, I replaced it. And then it was working great. But now one of the motors just cuts in and out at random times, and it looks like I'm going to have to send the motor or the entire board in for them to look at, because I think it's something with the electric circuits. Oh, really frustrating. So boosted board support team is amazing, but just the fact that I've had to reach out to them so many times has been really frustrating. Thank God it's under my warranty. So just a quick update here while I'm editing this video. Just wanted to let you know that I temporarily fixed the problem by unplugging the motor and plugging it back in, and that seems to be working for now. And it's been maybe like 10 runs and it's still working fine, so hopefully that's the fix. And thanks again to Boosted Support. Alright, so the question is the boosted board worth it for the money, the convenience, the inconvenience also, all those things wrapped into an answer? And my answer is yes, but that's just for my particular situation. So let me explain what I mean by that. So I live in San Francisco, where the weather is really nice, the public transportation is not so great, so that kind of gives me a lot of reason and opportunity to ride the boosted board. I also like repairing stuff. I've definitely had to do a lot of that with this boosted board, and I think it's just a huge joy to ride the boosted board around. So that's why it's worth it for me. However, your situation might be different. You might live in a city that rains a lot, or it's really cold like half the year, and in those cases you won't have as much opportunity to ride the boosted board, or you might not like repairing stuff as often. So a lot of it comes down to how much joy will you get from riding the board, and that's kind of your decision to make, but I will say it's a lot of fun riding it. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching and reaching to this point. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, or subscribe if you want to see more content that I have coming really soon. I got all kinds of stuff like tech videos, coffee videos, more Mavic Air drone videos. That's all coming your way. Happy 2019, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And that's a wrap.